like the Kenya Red Cross Society. They are very good with the disaster work. So the other sector is the TVETs. Some of you would like to be tutors, isn't it? Isn't it? Some of you will work with adults who will wish to get trainings. So if you're interested in being a facilitator, a trainer, you can venture into the TVET, consulting and training sectors. So if I can make reference to that, we've talked about the climate sector, the gig economy, the humanitarian sector, the TVET, and also the entrepreneurial sector. Do you remember what he said? He talked about the social enterprise, isn't it? Isn't it? What else did he mention? Yes? Agribusiness, do you remember that? What else did he say we can do? We can consult and train, isn't it? Yes. So, to add to that, there are those of us who are good with public policy and governance. Maybe you are very interested in working with the county government. Maybe at some point you see yourself influencing policy. So that is an area that you can grow with time. So you get attached to the county offices or to the national offices, and over time you're able to accumulate the experience in the area of public policy and governance. Now some of us would want to work in the health sector. Okay, you're interested in working in public health programs that tackle issues to do with food security, programs that tackle with nutrition issues, okay? Programs that work with households and improving their resilience. So you can work in the public health sector. So I hope that from the discussion we had from the keynote, you are able to maybe think broader and stop seeing yourself just working in the non-profit space, but also you can work in the profit space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee, for enlightening and also taking us back to the reflection of the keynote speaker today. To my other panelists, we have had their bios. They are doing very incredible work. We want to understand, how did you get there? Did you wait until the last day after KU for you to decide, okay, now what am I going to do? Or is it something that started when you are still in school? We want to understand your journey to where you are today, to become founders, to be working with women. How did we get there? We can start with Diana. Briefly.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. So I'll try to be as brief as possible. So initially, I wanted to do pure sciences. I wanted to be an alchemist. Then things happened and job came into play, and I found myself in a social science class. Well, I appreciated that and I rolled with it. Long story short, in second year, I happened to volunteer with a startup organization, and they were very interested in that. They wanted to start an NGO, a children's home, but they would only fundraise once in a year, and the fundraising bit was what captivated me the most. They will train us to play golf, have a tournament, get all the funding, and then that will cater for 68 children, school fees, accommodation, and all that. So I learned, it's the first time I came to terms with consultancy, and the chief consultant who brought everything together, coordinating the golf courses, the volunteers, and all, had a very huge paycheck. And I aspired to be a consultant, but again, it came with a lot of experience, 2 decades of experience to be precise. So in third year again, I landed a job coincidentally, remember? we've been taught about personal branding and professional branding has been emphasized, but mine was mostly the personal branding. Remember, from being an alchemist to now in social science to learning consultancy, I wanted to understand who I am, what can I do? And when I went out to look for internship, before I landed one, we had a media interview back then, QTV. We had been invited due to a mentorship program I was volunteering in. And so I realized that I was approached by a media person, and I realized that I can do something with my oratory skills. And that is how I got my first formal job as an interviewer and a logistician in a documentary from the Ministry of Health. Then, now later on, long story short, towards the end of my fourth year, Ajira came in, digital Ajira, and I learned, oh yeah, I like writing. I can actually try my foot in it. So I started an account with Upwork and Fiverr. And the first 1 month I realized that I can actually pay my rent before I even graduated. So the 3 months when I was clearing KU, I went for a media crash course because I wanted to host a media show, do human interest stories and all that. So from there, being a gender activist, I realized that yes, we have very good policies, but they conflict with the women, mostly, and the girls' career. You know, every other time a woman has achieved something in the interviews, we are always asked, how do you manage work-life balance? How do you manage to stay afloat? And I find it very insulting because this life is all rounded. Even the men have families, but nobody really caters for that. But I understand the concern is due to the triple roles. So I compare the policies we have here in Kenya, the gestation periods and all that, nature and nurture interplay, and the success of a woman. And I realized in countries like Germany and Finland, whenever you're going for a maternity leave, you can go as long as a year or 2 years, you know, which is beneficial for the baby, the family, and your career. But here, you're given 3 months, paid if you're lucky. We have organizations that don't even cater for that. Then, if you extend the 3 other months, you'll suffer somewhere. So that is how I landed into consultancy. And just allow me to mention the entrepreneurship bit really intrigued me. I've just realized from today that, from the presentation, that I've tried consulting and training, what I'm doing currently, agribusiness, I'm a mushroom farmer, and now the digital freelancing that I've talked about. So that is how I landed into what I'm doing today. It's always good to realize that you're a person before you're a profession. And you know, a wise man once told me as I conclude that in this world, life is not at all about work. Look for a job that is better than sleeping. And that is how I became that lady. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the rich experience. You can clap for us. Rose, when did you start and how did you start? Briefly.
Yeah, so all protocols of good afternoon. Yeah, Rose Mwikali here. I can say my journey started in my first year when I joined first year at Kenyatta University. I got this organization called Feeling Up that offered to sponsor me throughout campus, and they have this. They also today they do exist. So they have these programs that they run through Kibra, Mkuru kwa Jenga, all those. And now I noticed that way back, I've been very much, I get pissed off by the issues affecting girls and young women. So because now this organization is majorly focusing on girls and young women, I saw it as an opportunity. So I would request the social worker to just allocate me some few days over the weekend. I'm not a partying person, so when going for parties, so I would just go and train the kids in Kibra. So in first year, in my second year, first year was the class rep, also through campus life. So in second year, we have this lecturer from Gender and Development Studies, taking us through gender topics and all that. And now he's now in this sports where he's invited to do some consultancy, give some speeches. Now he could invite me for just go and be a rapporteur All that, I was back in my mind, I have no connection. Coming from a family where I'm the only beacon of hope. So I have now to set the foundation right, and now I have to change that and build the connection on my end. So I interacted with the lecturers, and now like also the departmental lecturers. I was very, like whenever they just walk in the class, I was like, no, I just need to be like Dr. Joanne. I really inspired just when she just walked in, I was, yeah. So in my third year, fourth year, like now we come a time where like we have to do practicums. And now it happened, lucky enough, COVID came, so we were to do it after coursework. Now we go for practicum. And now I remember lecturers telling us that don't start from UN, don't search for internship in the county government or UN. Start, maybe if you are lucky enough to get an organization that is just starting or is just somewhere, because it will give you a wider range of opportunities for you to experience all that. So I had 3 organizations to choose from, and when I got through a website for Empower and Serve Kenya, I got really inspired because mentally their work is in girls and young women, the training. So I was like, no. But now, and also like the founders are from CRM. So I was told, try MSAP. No, Mr. Steve, don't go and report. So I tried MSAP. When I just got in, they did give, they were not very complicated to me. They gave me the chance. I didn't do an interview. I was just told to report, so I reported, and I'm there just confused. We told to come up with work plans and everything. You don't know where to start. You've never heard that, you know. So I now notice I'm a very keen observant. So I noticed that no, here I can drive here. So whenever they needed someone to assist in the field work, monitoring the evaluation, just someone to assist with the project, I was readily available. Cecilia said that you don't have to be desperate, but when I look back, I can say like I was sort of desperate because I sought every opportunity. So now I was given 3 months of internship and attachment, and by then they called me project assistant. So I was very proud because I am dated by LinkedIn and I got amazing colleagues. So I could just call myself a project assistant. So notice that now they train ICT and social entrepreneurship, but these girls come from these families where now they have so much challenges happening. So I need to start. I do mentorships and soft skills training, so I need to start something here because I need them to remember me for something. In case I leave here, they remember who started me. So I just organize sessions with the girls, and now I decided to make it formal to the team. We've been doing this, what if you have it as a program? Now they told me, Rose, just continue doing this, and now we can see if we can incorporate it in our programs. Now, given the internship, I was like, no, because as organizations, they also run short of resources, and they have that limit. Now you can't be an intern for around 2 years. It's like, what? It's almost ending. I was given that notice. I remember calling Dr. Christie. We had a chat. She was really kind to me. We met. It was an eye-opener to me. She pushed me towards another end that I won't confess here, but yeah, thank you so much. So we work not because we ask not. So I decided that with all the partners they do work with, we have this partner that before that does mostly like whatever I like, where my passion is. What if now I try this and I reach out and ask them if I can be given an opportunity? By then I just wanted to be a mentor, like just someone to coordinate the mentorship opportunities. And I was, yeah, we can now do this. I scheduled for interviews and everything. After 1 year, that was in 2023, July, I landed now an opportunity with W4 as a life skills and mentorship program associate. And I didn't get comfortable at that point. Remember, like, you don't just get comfortable. Sell your skills, brand yourself. So throughout the program, we have this program that is being implemented, EYSM application that is being rolled out in Kenya. And now, like, we need someone to coordinate locally. So I just said, like, I can well coordinate this. And now, last year, got now, like, because of the various programs, the workshops that they do with GSMA, ITU, and global leadership, global partnerships. Now I got now an opportunity to coordinate all the programs, and that is where I'm so happily, passionately working right now.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Briefly.
You know, ladies, we give details as we summarize. I don't know, are we live? Are we live? I need to be sure because I might need to edit if we are live. Are we live? We are live? Yes. Okay, so I'll edit. So I'll edit my story. In 2009, I stepped into KU, a very young boy confused from Kisumu. The first time I'm getting to Nairobi, I get to Githurai, they take my phone and they teach me how to get to Nairobi. Long story short, I admit myself, my brother brings me up to Kawendani, he decides to go for a drink, he never appears, I talk to him after 2 weeks. So I admit myself to KU, I miss a hostel. I get my way to Kahawa Sukari, I get some hostel with a few friends of mine from my former high school. 1 year down the line, I'm in KU, I feel like I need to be a KUSA representative, I vie for Congressman, School of Applied Human Sciences. I failed miserably, but I only rejuvenate myself. Then along the line, a friend of mine, we in high school, joins Kenyatta University first year, pick up to Mr. Lamek, is the current dean of students at KCA University, a good friend of mine way back from primary. So he joins Kenyatta University and he tells me, ukiwa shule, unafaa kutafuta pesa. And he shows me the way. We get a connection with the British High Commission. We do some research. We head to Marsabit, Mandera, Turkana, Wajir, Isiolo, and Meru counties to do a research for British High Commission. Later on, I joined Angela Milo at InfoTrack as one of their research assistants. Then I end up certifying myself with the Marketing and Social Researchers Association of Kenya. I am still certified, by the way, and I'm part of that fraternity. So I joined that professional body while I'm just a second year. I move forward, then we are told that we are supposed to go for practicum. I know nobody, I am probably also the only beacon of hope in our family. My family does not have a very big name outside there, except for the fact that my father had 4 wives. So that's the only name they had in the village. So we fast forward, I go to Thika, and I've never been to Thika before. So I go to Thika and I go to this organization, it's called Action for Children in Conflict, UK. I talk to this gentleman, he's called Dr. John, he's the CEO, director, he's everything. So he gives me an opportunity to do my internship there. Apparently my girlfriend, who is also in CRM, comes to do her attachment there. So my girlfriend and I are in the same organization. Good news is, she comes from Thika. So she gets me a house in Thika. So we find ourselves in Thika, almost married in campus, quote unquote. You know what I mean, because you're a student. So we do this practical thing, this internship thing, whatever. I think it's attachment, and well, as it is, I do a very good job. So they tell me, you know what, unaweza kaa hapa. So I come back to school, but I still sick and go to Thika and work. Sorry that Charlie, but I missed most of your classes. My friends are coming up for me, but I still passed, you know, I passed. I got second class upper, so I passed. Yeah, so I miss classes, I go to work, I miss classes. I have very good friends, Richard Ojal and Michael Kali, his late name, so rest in peace. These guys covered me very well in my 3rd year and 4th year in this campus. They could tell me, tomorrow is can't make sure for class. You know, assignment is due, so I mean, it was, you know, you have to survive as a man. So along the way, I end up going back to, after graduation, I go back to Thika, but again, the door has pulled out, so that means that the job in Asia. So what happened, I come back to Kahawa Sukari, I was still staying with this girlfriend of mine. I said that now, I'm going to survive. I ventured into freelance writing for a couple of months, I realized this is not my thing. Pack all my stuff, I go back to Kisumu, where it all began. So I joined our family business. We were supplying some SBC materials. They have not paid me because you're live, I will not promote them. So I will not mention the products. So I go there, I become the manager of the production, whatever. You know, being in Kisumu, you have this family car, you know, as a duo man, you know, you're rolling, you're feeling nice. But down the line, I'm like, this is not what I studied. So I'm kind of wasting myself. I also get into alcohol and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But along the way, I realized this is not what I studied. Then Say Mungu ni nani? Sema Mungu ni nani? I had applied for an internship at ILO. I forgot about that application. So this is December, I think 2014, yes. I get a call from a number, the guy was called, actually it's a lady, she was called Taziana Zozo. She's like, are you calling? So I'm like, yes. I'm calling from ILO. I didn't even know what ILO is. I was like, what is ILO? So, and then they say, you applied for this thing, so they give me a date for interview. I travel all the way to Nairobi, I do the interview, I go back, they communicate again after 1 month, then they give me the result. So they tell me you're successful, come as an intern, M&E, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So I come, I do my internship, I do a very good job, they extend my contract, it was 3 months, they extend again by another 3 months. Then unfortunately again, donors program Asia. So what do? You must go home. I'm like, no, I'm not going home. I find myself in Banana with a friend of mine, he's called Regan. He tells me, wewe kuja tukae hapa, tukipanga vile itakuwa. Jumanome ukishatoka ushago, usirudi ushago, kurudi ushago utakuwa mzee. Ushago ni kwa wazee, ukitaka kusaidika weka town. So naingia hapo tunaishi kwa Banana na Regan. Then I now start hustling. I get into the streets of Nairobi. I go to this place called PDC. It's an NGO in South Bay. And that guy, he did me well. Thank you, sir. I know you might be watching this. So he did me well. He gave me a job as a coordinator of the program. So I worked there for 3 months. Then I'm told I'm supposed to go to South Sudan. So mimi mwenye hata sijatoka nje Nairobi niende South Sudan. Then I go online and Google South Sudan, I realize people are fighting, I realize, no, that's not my thing. So I tell him, no, you can have your job, I'm not going. So I quit. So where do I go next? I go stay with my cousin somewhere in Tena Estate. Along the way, I meet a friend of mine also, who we were with somewhere in Seme. Those who come from Kisumu County know Seme. So the guy tells me, there's an opportunity with the government that I think we can fix. So we fix the opportunity, I will not mention because I'm still affiliated there, so that's why I asked if you're online. So I'm fixed there and I get into the system and I think I'm still part of the system. And things move, you know, as things move. But even as I do these things, I realize this is not what I want, it's not what I want. So I start getting myself into YouTube, into learning about communication, about this kind of stuff. Then along the line, I end up being very influential in the Nairobi political landscape. So during the elections, I find myself with one of the leading candidates in the gubernatorial race. So I do a lot of speeches for him. I do all the articles he does on the Star newspaper. Because we're live, we don't tell you who and what I did. So I do all these kind of things. Then somebody from Oxfam spots me, and she tells me, by the way, Collins, you're doing an amazing job. We're developing the Nairobi County policy. So we want you to come in as our rapporteur. So I come in as the rapporteur, and I do an amazing job over 9 months, and they pay me very well, while I'm still holding this other job that I was taking. So they pay me for this 9 months. Then after that, she gets an opportunity with Health Poverty Action. She's told there's a project that is coming up. This project is huge, and we want you to leave Oxfam and utilize and become the project manager. She's like, no, I can't leave Oxfam because you know Oxfam and they have. It's a long-term organization, it's established. So you can't be established, even hata kama pesa ni mzuri. So that is wisdom you need to know. So don't leave your job because pesa ni mzuri the other side. Because a small organization is a collapse. So she tells me, there's a job, I want you to apply. I'm like, Mimi hata still manage hata mtu mmoja. Hata manage almost 20 people. She's like, you just apply. So I apply. By this time I'm already born again, so I stopped alcohol. Najua Mungu. So kuna imani ndani yangu. So I apply with faith and I pray before I go for the interview. They ask me questions, I've ever managed people, people's skills, you know. If you are to coordinate people, how will you talk to them? There's some people who are older than you in this project, how will you handle them? You know, that kind of thing. Are you married? Do you have a family? You know, are you stable? I respond very well, and 2 days later they give me the job. I end up becoming the country manager for Poverty Action. I ran $44,000 per year, $4,000 per year project for 2 years. That project ends, another project comes in and continues the program manager. Then come 2024 December, HBA goes down because the project comes to a close. Then what happens? I need to find for my family. I've got bills to pay. I I got a wife, I got children to take care of. As a man, I must think outside the box. I realize I have a potential in writing. So I get into proposal development and project design in full scale. I reach out to potential friends and partners that I've met over the years, and they tell me, try this job, try this job. And so be it. As we speak today, I am the programs officer at Oscar. That is what I do. I design projects, I implement, I coordinate, and I have been managing the projects. That is my journey. I hope it will inspire.
In summary, Lungafa Igolo is my name. I was once a Kusa guy. Comrades, hi. I came here in 2011 with a purpose, mainly to solve the problems that were at home. I had some guy there saying they don't want to go back to the village. And to me, that's already a problem that I should solve by taking you back to the village. You know the way you grow up in an environment that needs a lot of change and all that. So you come to KU with that purpose and that background. So when I was here, my mind was always at home. When we are speaking about participatory approaches, I'm thinking of myself in our own spring, making sure that water gets from that place to taps inside homes, because there at home, people are still taking water from the rivers. The opportunity is in you going there to take that water to their homes, not here where people already have it in their tanks. So that's where the opportunities are, and if I may just maybe twist the talk a little bit for 1 minute, because I don't want to talk about. When we come here as students, sometimes we center on the course and not kind of explore. I had an interest in literature. I used to visit the postmodern library a lot because it was just newly built. And our course had lots of literature. Maybe even we didn't have a shelf at the library. So what happened, I loved reading, and one of the books that I went in and got and really inspired, it is a very small 32-page book, a Bellerophon published book, maybe in UK. The Book of Good Manners. Small book of good manners that I read and I still read. It inspired me a lot. How you yourself can really invest in yourself in a small way to make it to where you are. Something I identified as an opportunity when I was at KU, this thing called culture. Kenya, we've invested in only 3 pillars: economic, social, and political. We've not invested in our main pillar, the cultural pillar, and that's where those opportunities are. The current Secretary General, Young Champions in Culture Kenya, and the President, Young People in Culture in the County. That's my journey. Thank you.
One thing that's standing out is for all of us, we got out. We got an opportunity. We saw something. We saw a problem, and we tried to solve it. What is it that you are doing while in school, or maybe like Peter after school, thinking outside the box? Is that okay? Let's start thinking about those questions. For me, my journey started in 2nd year. And I fell in love with youth and governance, and I can confidently say I'm a youth and governance expert. And coordinating youth serving organization consortium, a membership of around 30 organizations. And also I consult for another organization, one of them being Action Aid Kenya. Last year, I was tasked to help organize, and bring out a very powerful convention. Some of the things that we'll be talking later. But all these were because I raised my hand in class, I was active, and I networked with people. So whoever you are meeting, hopefully they are making an impact in your life. On to the next question. With CRM, it provides an opportunity for people to be founders. We have heard you have founded something back at home, you are a founder. When is the right time for students to set up an organization, and what are the requirements? Briefly. Diana, you can start.
Thank you for that question. So, it's good to ask yourself the why. Why do you want to find something? What is this that you're finding? So it emanates from who you are. What exactly, because you are a resource in yourself. So what exactly do you want to give out there? Then you ask yourself, who will be your primary benefactors, your primary, your target, your target group. Is it children? Is it women? Is it men? Why? Why them? Why that particular group? Then the wherewithals. Where are you getting the resources, the skills? For how long? Then you ask yourself. As an entrepreneur, I like questioning the return on investment. So what are you putting in? What do you expect to get out in return? Then at the end of the equation, what legacy do you want to leave behind? If all those are coordinated, then it's very easy to come up with a name. So an example will be She Codes. From just that organization, you can pick a lot, what they do and all that. So for me, because I wanted to try to work with different community groups, women, children, and all that, as a consultant later in life, I'm still working towards becoming, a sought after consultant. So I realized it's just good to sell my personality, my vivacious personality, and that is how Does It the initiative came to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Collins, you can go next. And also you can, I think, touch on maybe some of the requirements on the passing by.
All right. I think I regret not having started an organization while still in campus. I wasted a lot of time. So if I were you, I would start as early as now, as long as I'm over 18, which is the legal age required for you to register an organization. I wasted a lot of time because right now the organization would have quite developed and would have had wings across board, and I would have probably had so many partners and stakeholders on board already. When I started Pursuit of Purpose as CBO later in life, that is actually 3 years and a few months old. So basically why we found this, or why should we become founders? We have this quote-unquote foundosis syndrome that everybody wants to start something. Ideally, it's not for everyone. That's the sad reality. Not everyone can be a founder of an organization. So you must have the drive, the passion, the understanding, the skills, the capacity, the ability, and the knowledge and the know-how on how, and the technical know-how on how to run an organization. Some of these things, they don't just come overnight. They come with years of experience, and they come with what you have come into contact with in the, probably, let's say for CBO, in the development sector. When I founded Pursuit of Purpose, it is because I've met so many young people, so many young girls and boys and women and men. They don't know why they exist. Okay, they're just there. So, so what is your 5-year plan? Like right now, if I randomly ask any of you, what is your 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Do you have a plan? So at Pursuit of Purpose, we give you a plan. We tell you why you should have a plan. Why should you budget for your money? Why should you know whom to date if you have to date? Why should you marry that young man if you have to marry? Why should you stay single at this stage? Why should you study? It's the pursuit of purpose. The purpose is something that is in you. So before you even talk about beginning an organization and all that, you need to ask yourself, what are the objectives that I need to meet or I want to meet with this organization? It's not just about having a name, having a certificate. Because if you have funds and resources, these ones you can easily get. But we have so many previous organizations in town here. There is the PBO office at Nine House in Pittsburgh. You go there every Tuesday and Thursday, you find thousands of people coming there to meet, to be taught how to write proposals. The organizations have existed for 10, 15 years. They have never gotten even one single grant. They are still being taught how to write proposals. They did not understand the reason for beginning those organizations. So what is it that is driving you? Number 2, about organizations, you have to have the passion. This thing is not easy. Steve here will tell you, and probably she will tell you, that the sector will be dry, very dry. So if it is the money that is driving you in that sector, utafunga your guys, utafunga office, you go home. So you have to have the passion. You have to have the stamina, you have to be in a position to ensure that you can relate to the ongoings in the sector. So probably ask about the requirements. I'm assuming the requirements are like the legal requirements, right? Okay. So the requirements here, number one, you need to have a constitution, of course, that will guide the organization. Number two, you need to have a name. Nowadays, it's even easier. You go to easily and you reserve a name. And then after a few days, they will come back to you and tell you whether that name is taken or you can proceed with the administration. Then you also, if it's an NGO, you'll need like the 3 key officials, that is the chairperson, treasurer, secretary, and then on top of that, you need to get board members. If it is a local NGO that is Kenyan, like purely for Kenyans, you won't have a problem. But if it also includes non-Kenyans, at least 70% of the board members must be Kenyan, so that 30% are from outside. So if that is an international NGO, and then I think the amount is around 21,000. You also need to do minutes to show that you people start and agree that you want to start this organization. You also need to define the objectives of the organization. You also need to talk about the mission and the goal. And also you need to segment your area or sector. Do you want to deal with health? Do you want to deal with children? Do you want to deal with youth? So there's a lot of documentation involved. But do not worry, just go to the PPO website, you get this thing, download that form, read everything, and everything nowadays is done online, so you don't have to be worried. Even the 2 forms that were initially filled physically, nowadays you'll find them online and fill online. So I think those are the requirements.
Yes, thank you so much for summarizing and saying any time is a good time to start an organization. All you need is the why and the pursue and the passion to do it. Is that okay? On to the next one. We have a lot of challenges as practitioners, being that to date I still have to tell someone when they ask me what did you study in school, I tell them community resource management and extension, and they look at me like, community development as one of the challenges. But in our own perspective, I know we have faced a lot of challenges in school and outside school, and in pursuing as founders and also working for different organizations. What are the challenges that we have faced, and what are the solutions that we have gotten? Briefly, we can go around of. We can start with.
Hello again. One key challenge, students, is that you're not going to get employed tomorrow. Get that fact right now and start working on another way around. I'm 10 years out. I've never been employed. Not that I don't apply for the jobs, but I'm very proud that unemployment never came. Because there are things that I've accumulated all this time through, that had unemployment came, I would not have pursued some of my passions. You getting the point? Not that I'm praying that you don't get employed, but I pray you get well hit by life, that you realize some things. Getting the point? Yeah, you get well hit by life so that you mature into some things. Easy come things? No. Work hard and realize something. Maybe just a second to what you need to do as in preparation for an organization, is that you yourself, you're an organization as a person. In United States, they even allow you to register an organization. You're the chair, secretary, treasurer, and everything. Can you do all those roles as one person and still achieve the purpose of that organization as yourself? If you endeavor to do much in a day because everyone has those hours, I'm sure you will, because you wake up, not all of us wake up at the same time. So if you can wake up a little earlier than the other person, you'll be a little ahead at the end of that day. Always try. And it's not what you do when we are together. It's not what we do here. What you do when we are not together is what will define you when we meet. You get the point? So that when you relieve to your own self space, be it at Kahawa, be it at Nyayo there, what you do when you are alone is what will later come out as your exemplary. Sawa. So avoid the group thing. Thank you.
Yes, so the challenges are there. Of course, life comes with challenges, and we must find a way to navigate. I think for me, I think we were the second or the third batch of CRM as we graduate. So the major challenge then, not now, then, because I've gone ahead and I've already done my master's and all that, so I mean, I've kind of raised those previous challenges. But the challenge then was, we would say CRM will be like, what did you say? CC what? CR what? You know, that kind of thing. But I found a way to define it, and let me just, I think this is what I deliberately put in my bio, and I said, so what I would use in most interviews is that I am a program management and development professional, having studied community resource management. So you get it? I'm a program management and development professional, having studied community resource management. So I have already told that person what CRM is all about. So they don't need to ask me CR what, because the first statement introduces CRM. So that is one of the ways that, even in my CV, that's how I think I have, before I got my master, that's how it was. So that I don't have to explain every other time, what is CRM, you know, that kind of thing. So that was the major challenge back then, I think in 2015, 2016, thereabout. But I think even past the course itself, but I think with time we've also gained traction with the likes of some of our alumni who have done very well, and the likes of Martin. Pass our regards to him still. He has really fought for this CRM to be, in fact, we'll tell us how far we are with the registration of that professional body, so that these people do not come to suffer like we suffered. Yeah, so I think with time, one of the things that I realized in this sector is that if you are not agile, if you are not malleable, if you are not flexible, you will suffer. Because you will come out with a mindset of I need to work for a CBO, an NGO, you know, that kind of approach. But if you go outside here, I normally tell people, I run a mentorship program every week for young people. I mentor around 37 young people. I normally tell them every week that the certificate is just to expose you to the world, but it is not what defines you to the world. There are skills that you come with, there are people you meet, there are networks you create along the way as you get the certificate that will be much more important than the certificate. So I normally tell people outside here, it's not about the certificate, it's about your flexibility. Can you adapt very quickly? The issue is to adapt very quickly, don't waste time. If you go to Mandera, I have worked in Mandera myself. If you go to Mandera, are you able to put on those kanzus and buibui as fast as possible before you start asking, oh, you know, I'm not a Muslim, you know, mimi kwetu Islam sija tukuli pop. No. I've worked in Mandera, I've worked in Kisumu, I've been to Kakamega. So when I go to Mandera, I put on that kanzu very fast. I will talk to them, I'll understand their culture, that men are not supposed to interact with women. When you want to talk to women, get another woman to talk to them, you know, that kind of thing. Flexibility, it has helped me very much. So the major challenge for the CRM professionals or people who are coming outside the school setting is the mindset. I think that Tari or Prof, it's Prof, that Tari, Prof. I think the thing is the mindset. You know, when we come out of school, we are like, mimi nafaa kuandikwa kwa NGO, the scheme say probably nafaa kuwa maybe a chief of party. You know, be very flexible, start somewhere, okay? So be very flexible. The other piece that maybe you'll encounter when you get to this job market is the issue of funding. You know, if you work in the NGO world, mostly your employment is based on donor availability. Donor wakienda hata umeenda. So every other day you kneel down and pray for your donor so that they don't pull out of that program. And how do you deal with that? You spread your wings. Don't just be somebody who is in one place. Spread your wings. Affiliate yourself with several organizations. Volunteer here and there, so that if this door closes, you can easily find your way to the next stop, okay? So usikuwe mtu kwenye umeshikilia hiyo organization. Let me tell you, institutions can end. Or even you can be fired. And somebody else will be brought there. So don't die at that same one place. Be open and spread your wings. Thank you.
Thank you, Collins, for that. And also, just to add on what Dave said, one of the challenges that I've really witnessed, like in our community resource management, yes, it's not that popular. But most students, like, we don't know why we are doing that. Why are you pursuing CRM? What is it like that you want, like you, maybe if someone asks you today, why are you pursuing CRM? Then after 4th year, after you graduate, what next? Unclear career pathway. You don't know where you are heading to. Why are you doing what you are doing? So just to say, like, you need to set yourself like in a way that if someone today, like you in that year, it doesn't matter. This world is so unfair. Like, the competition is very steep. So you need to be like, just know why are you doing that. After I graduate, I need to work with girls and young women. My mentor back then, like, sorry it backfired, told me, Rose, you keep saying that you want to work with girls and young women. Have you listed down 20 organizations that are doing the same? How many applications have you been doing for the same? So it threw me a challenge that no, there is one word saying and it's another thing doing. So I listed down the organization and now heads up W4, they were in my list, and I was like, one day, maybe I could be sitting in this seat that I was given during practical. So let me not burn the bridges, no, again, and now the rest follow. So I see now, I throw an application and I'm like, I see this organization is doing kids, the way he's saying like flexibility. And now me, I just wanted to be a volunteer. Kumbe, this organization doesn't have team members. So I just now the CEO calls me and she's like, no, Rose, from what you've done with Empower and Serve Kenya, I can see you just more than a volunteer to our organization. I need to give you a programs manager position. That is Color My World Kenya. So I go to KNH. The first experience, you know, the how many have been hospitalized, admitted in hospital. You meet those desperate kids who don't know what like to do, and that maybe in the lift to meet up someone who has just passed, and they're taking them to the morgue, and you're like, really? But now, the first month was tough, the second month now, and then the third month, I noticed that I have another interest. I connect also quite well with kids. You see, like flexibility and knowing what you want. Pursue it. Yes, and the group mentality. Yes, right now you keep saying that CRM is not that marketable, but of the units that you pursued, like the project management, resource mobilization, the proposal writing, what are you getting from that? Do you think that you need a certification in that? And now it will solve this challenge where, like we are saying, CRM is not that popular. So know yourself. Why are you doing that? Where do you see yourself after graduating? It is one thing to send the CV, and it is another thing to be like qualified for what you are applying for. Thank you.
Diana, briefly, just one challenge and a solution that you have had.
Okay. Mine, I would like to concur with my fellow panelists. They have actually highlighted all the challenges, the short-term contracts, the projects. The projects at times range from 1 year, 2 years, all the way to 5 years only, and it's not guaranteed that you'll be there working with that particular project. So, mine is to conclude by saying that the art of life is the art of survival. That's the whole essence of life. So it's first, survive. Make sure you're breathing. Secondly, in CRM profession, make sure you build up your skills, have versatile skills, be a master of none, be a jack of all trades, a master of none, better than a master of one. That's the flexibility they were talking about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you. My story is different. It's not like theirs. I think for me, I used to look upon Dr. Obola and Dr. Morelli so much as my lecturer. So when I finished my undergraduate, I was like, what can I do to enable me to teach? Mine was to teach. And I want to call out to those who are interested in teaching. It is beautiful. So I talked to them, told me, apply for scholarships. And fortunately, I was able to get a scholarship and another scholarship. So my point is, your trajectory does not have to be like anyone else's, okay? Don't go or don't live here saying, I have to go through and meander. You don't necessarily have to go through any person's trajectory. Number two, and I really concur with what you say, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with life. Are we together? You have to be patient with yourself and patient with life. The opportunities that your big brothers and sisters are getting now is not what you will get after this. So the lack of patience can bring a lot of mental issues. Have you heard people are getting depressed?
Yes.
Are you hearing people are getting a lot of emotional and mental burnout and stress? It's because you want to make a sprint and life is a marathon. Are we together? So let us pace ourselves, let us be patient with ourselves, and finally, be under a mentor. We don't grow up or we don't come out of these doors knowing how to do life. Sit under someone. I sit under even some colleagues here and they teach me. They teach me how to do things. So if you do not have a mentor in your life, you are going to really have to go through the long route. All right? So get a mentor, sit under someone, learn, and also always have a curious mind. My dear sisters and brothers, opportunities are limitless. There is so much available for us. But are you curious enough? Are you intentional enough to look at even remote jobs? Okay? So, mtoke hapa mkijua, opportunities are limitless. Are we together? Yes. They are there. But are you curious enough? Are you inquisitive? Are you going out of your way to look for the opportunities? And with that, I hope I've given solutions.
Yes, thank you. We'll do something different. We'll be upstanding, we stretch as we get a volunteer to take the mic round. I see the energy levels are down. I want us to stretch 30 seconds. They don't do this in other panels, but ours is different. You can stretch. And also if you stretch well, I might give you a chance to ask a question. So stretch well.